What happened is that we know that in the language and what we're dealing with, we know that this language and the origin of the Jewish alphabet is not what we're used to. And in not being what we're used to, we know that this is backwards, of course, but still it's giving you reference that it is not the morphic alphabet with the vowels and Van der Waals and etc. and the 5 finals made by Mashallah in the year 800 or 798. So this is it, plus a big giant red bloody sky, and I guess Allah is pissed off at him because he destroyed the originals and he remade them. That's why they're backwards. You know, because remember he destroyed the first ones. You know, whatever. So, but the thing is now, we see from the understanding that the Jewish encyclopedia gives us reference in saying that the Jews in Babylon, even to the latter part, knowing that they used these alphabets and there was the great 7, etc., etc., etc. Now we got this and we know that that's there. No, don't say it, please don't. Okay, now, there was a group of us who belonged to the 7 principal people from the separate land when it was a Pangea, and they called themselves Moors. Now here is where it gets a little deep. Now in the Moors, these brothers, I give them 150% respect and credit. Why? Because they themselves are on a path of understanding themselves and seeking a balance in the sovereign indigenous factor of being of the 7 principal people. They, through their research of the broken history line, have recovered a partial history that's leading them into the right direction of understanding and spirit, but into a blackness that is in this color. But as I said in Jeremiah, I am black. That black is spiritual, not just in the flesh. So the thing is, the Moors, this is from a guy named, he's an actor named Jai White. I didn't meet Jai White. When I was in LA, Hollywood, I met Marcus, and he's a master martial artist, and he's an individual who teaches, what do you call it? Teach people how to do martial arts on film, Javier?
Yeah, he's a stunt coordinator. Stunt coordinator,
yes, thank you. And he's a very cool brother. I like the brother. He's very cool, very cool. I had a wonderful conversation with the brother. Give him much great respect. He's the one that sent me the clock from Prague. But Jai White is from his reference and things. But this brother here is playing the movie that's coming out called Moors. Now here's the thing. They call themselves Moors. And in being a Moor, this is something that we have to look at and say, hey, what's going on? But see, here is where you wonder. Then what happens is there's a group of Gentiles who decided to come out of Ohio, and a lot of people who know the Mormons' histories, they know they come out of Ohio. But here's the thing, they took these two and made it into one and said they're a man. Here is representation of a people, of a nation, both male, female, and child, and alike. But here, then the reference to being a man. And in this man, they said, hey, we're going to follow the same principle, and we're going to have 7 wives. Hell, let's have 23. So, are there uncles? No, just daddies. But see, the thing is, that is what they did. So, to come off in a stolen legacy, they created this nation within a nation. These young brothers and sisters are trying to reestablish and restore a nation within a nation by sovereignty. But in this, they have given themselves, hey, we need a language, but the language that they have like 4 different languages that are in there, but they have one primary language that they use. But the Mormon themselves, we know that this is not their true name. So we know that the Mormons, in their search of sovereign indigenous right of becoming a nation, they are within the understanding. But at the same time, what is the true name of the Mormons?
Mormons.
And how you spell it?
Oh, you can spell it M-U-R.
Okay, still, let's break that down and to the understanding that A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y with an aspirate H. So even if you did it with the U's, we're still there. What I'm saying to the brothers is that there is an ancient name that applies to where you are. And in this ancient name, it is more sacred because it represents the 7 principles of the people of Ayah. Now, in these Moors, they are one of the principal sacred people. And in this, they are warriors. And as the book of Isaiah speaks, they call themselves spiritual warriors.
What is the spelling? Sacred spelling.
The sacred spelling of the name of the Mormons deals with something that begins with the letter A. And I know that they have an Arabic name called the Al-Nazara. But right now, I'm researching this, and I will give you that name because I have 3 principal names I'm looking at and researching, but one of these names connect to the actual ancient. I know that they say that in the time of the period that they're also connected to the area of the lost people of Atlantis. But see, Atlantis in itself had to be sunken under because one major factor, when the land was one mass, Ayah commanded 7 to rise and become dry, shy, incontinence, and the 7 people. So whoever the principal people of the Atlantis, they say Lemirs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But we get into something even deeper because there was a group like in the indigenous natural order of what they call the Native Americans, the people of the blue light and the stone. There's also the sacred spiritual warriors who are there that connect to being where this nation of warriors were. And that name, before I give it out, I want to make sure I'm 98.6% correct on where I am. So that when people, they can either deal with it or not, but they can't change it or otherwise, or because it's solid, okay? And I give much respect to the brothers who are understanding the more, and they're doing something that many of our people should be doing, and that is understanding their birthright. And I feel that if the more, the brothers in the Moors and the sovereign nation come closer into the ancient and get more into the ancient, and not to the Egyptian, but collectively come to the Egyptian as well as the ancient, the identity would be more than just a physical, it'd be a spiritual. And that's what's very, very, very strong about that in the absence of the Moors.
I mean, you're saying that the Moors, they're trying to create their own sovereignty, right?
They have a certain sector coming out of Texas, California, and I believe New York.
They're all over.
Yeah.
Okay.
They've been around for a long time.
Right.
But I remember you